This is Mike Edwards, attorney, Marion, North Carolina. This is a video to introduce myself to you and to tell you a little bit about my law practice and what we do and what I may be able to do for you or your family in areas of law in McDowell and the surrounding counties. I grew up in Marion, North Carolina, went to high school there, and then went to UNC Chapel Hill and got a main degree in business accounting with a minor in speech communication. Then went to the UNC School of Law for 3 years following that to get my law degree. And after law school, I decided to come back home and practice in my hometown. Was fortunate enough to get a job with Bob Hunter and Hill Evans, their law firm in Marion. Bob was a legislator at the time in the General Assembly, and Hill Evans was a private attorney who did what I do now essentially and some other stuff. Had 2 great years learning under 2 great lawyers, and learned a lot about all aspects of the law in that 2-year period. Came a time at the end of 2 years when I wanted to get into court more and be more of a trial lawyer and to be in the courtroom as opposed to being in the office as much. So hated to do so, but I left the firm and decided to take a position with the district attorney's office. Extremely lucky to get an offer from Alan C. Leonard, who was our district attorney during that time. Alan Leonard is the best trial attorney I've ever seen, and I've seen a ton of great trial attorneys. He is hands down the best I've ever seen, and could not have had a better opportunity, as it turns out, to learn under him. He allowed me to sit with him on all major trials. I sat and watched and copied him, learned from him, watched every move he made, and still employed those skills that I learned today after 35 years, still doing the same kind of thing that I learned under Alan. At some point there, I was his chief assistant district attorney, under him, chief assistant, and he cut me loose and let me start trying cases on my own. I tried murder cases, child sex abuse cases, and was primary child sex abuse prosecutor in our 5-county district. Our district went from Henderson County all the way to McDowell, 100 miles wide, so we had a lot of cases. And I also got to try about 50 to 100 jury trials every year, which gave me the experience. I dare say nobody in this area has tried as many cases as I did, because we had so many counties, and I enjoyed trying cases so much I would go from one to the next and did as many as I could in an 8-year period. In 1995, I started my own practice in Marion, and that's where I am now. I've been there at that location for 25 years. We do 2 things primarily. We do criminal defense. Now, I sort of changed sides. Under the DA office, under Alan, I did, of course, prosecution. So I'm essentially trying to put people in jail, prosecute people. Sorry about that if that affected you in some way back in those days. But now I try to keep people out of jail, but it's a lot more than that. We do everything from death penalty murder case defense all the way down to minor traffic tickets. I'm one of 50 attorneys in North Carolina that's certified to handle death penalty murder cases in the defense of those. I still do that some, but my main part of my practice is actually day-to-day in the courtroom, handling misdemeanor cases, traffic cases, DWI cases, larceny, shoplifting, all the kind of things you see in district court. Also work in Superior Court, defending felonies, do jury trials, and so it's a complete practice in criminal court. I've been very successful. We were very successful in the DA's office. We had one of the best DA's offices in the state when I worked under Mr. Leonard, and our conviction rate was well over 90%. Allen's was probably 99.99%. But my conviction rate was up there in the 90s as well. And so we were very successful. We were very aggressive, and we took care of what we needed to take care of to do our job correctly for the people. Now, since you change sides, it's a little tougher on the defense side to have that kind of mark because, when I was DA office, we had a lot of resources and usually had the facts on our side. On the defense side, it's not quite as simple. It's a little bit difficult, more difficult because you have tough facts to work with a lot of times. So, but that being said, even though I tried 50 to 100 cases in criminal court when I was DA, in 25 years, I've only tried about 1 or 2 jury trials per year. So I'm probably under 35 trials in 25 years since I left. Have I forgotten how to try a case? No. I tried so many under Alan that in his leadership that like riding a bike, it just made me stronger. And we've actually been very successful in the 25 years that I've defended people in jury trials. Even though I've tried a smaller number of trials, we have an 87% rate of acquittal, of not guilty. So now how could that be? How could we be so successful defending people? Well, what I do in my philosophy in criminal defense is that I don't try everything because I counsel my clients and try to explain to them that if we can win your case, we need to try it in front of a jury. But if we cannot win your case, or if there's a great chance that we cannot prevail, we need to sit down and figure out a deal. And I try to get my clients the best possible result for them. And that usually is why we don't try that many cases. Now, on those occasions when we cannot get the DA to agree to something that's good for us, and my client has a case that I think is winnable, or maybe in some cases the client is just not guilty from the very beginning, and I tell them that, and there's no dealing with the DA. In those cases, we go to trial, and that's where I'm a fish in water because I love to try cases, but I have good shot selection, and my clients trust me. Just last week, I had a client who was not guilty. I knew it from the beginning. DA wouldn't believe me, and I kept telling the DA, didn't listen. That's okay. I'm sure I did the same thing back in the day, perhaps, but we tried it in front of the jury, 20 minutes, and a not guilty verdict. So that's what I'm talking about. If we got a case we can win, I'm gonna try to persuade you to try it out. It's your call. But if I got a case that I don't think we have a good chance to prevail, and you could get a really bad situation if you go to trial, then I'm going to try to persuade you. Let's work this thing out. And it's been very successful for me and for my clients. Just ask anybody that I've represented, and I think they'll tell you that over the years. Second thing we do is family law, child custody. We have done thousands upon thousands of child custody cases. We also do distribution of property and divorce cases. In the child custody area, my experience as a child sex abuse prosecutor for those years, I think, was training me unknowingly to be a child custody attorney. I've handled more child custody cases than anybody in McDowell County in the last 25 years. And I think I've been more successful than anybody in McDowell County for the last 25 years since I've been doing it. And I think my clients will tell you that. We do a case plan formula for your case. We get your facts of what's going on in your situation. And we form a case plan, which I start from the pleading stage after I talk to you all the way through to the end. And then if we have to go to trial, we go to trial. I try to work out a good situation for you where you're happy if I can and avoid trial. But if we end up not being able to do that and it has to go to trial again, It's like a flounder swimming in the sea or the river, because I enjoy doing the trial part. Actually work harder when I'm trying to work a case out than to do when I try it. Maybe it's because it's more fun. But in any event, that's what we do. We also draw simple wills for folks from time to time if they need that. My office manager is April Garden. She has been with me for 10 years now, and she is the best office manager on planet Earth. I have actually checked and verified that to be the case. Well, I've checked most people, most of the Earth, and I think of all the ones I've checked, put it this way, she's the best. No question about it. You call our firm, April's going to be your best friend as we're going through the process, and I will call you back. I'm a busy trial lawyer, but I call people back. It may be later in the day, it might be the next day, but usually within 24 hours we're going to call you back. We're going to assess what you are wanting to talk about and figure out if we can help you. We don't charge anything to talk to you for assessing your case. It's a free consultation. If I can help you, I'll tell you that. If I can, I'll give you a fee quote, and if you hire me, that's great. We'll have a good time working together to try to meet your goals. If you don't, that's okay too. We've been doing this for 25 years. We have a system, I think, that works. I think it's the best system in town. And I think you'll be pleased with what we do, and I look forward to helping you if I can. A. Michael Edwards, attorney at law. I'm Mike Edwards. It's the same person. April Garden's my office manager. We're on Logan Street, right behind the library, right across the street from the newspaper office. 828-652-8011. Give us a call. We'll be happy to help you, and I hope you'll watch some of my other videos on criminal law and child custody issues which follow. Thank you.